First, I would like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for it's only by His grace and mercy that I'm able to share with you today, and I'm still in the land of the living. Oh Lord, you have just been informed that you have congestive heart failure. Just the issue with your heart is enough, but to add the word failure is enough to rattle every nerve in your body. Now let me start off by saying that I am not a licensed physician. I'm just your normal everyday guy who found himself in a life-threatening situation, who was terrified of my diagnosis, but I was persistent not to allow fate to determine if I live or not. But basically, I researched everything I could about my condition. I educated myself on herbal supplements that actually targeted my illness. A cardiologist once told me, he said, you know what, you're different. You're not like so many others. But basically what he was saying was, I wasn't waiting around or sitting around waiting for a physician to fix my problem, but rather I did my part. Eventually, our medical visits were basically around what I did right and what I wasn't doing. Within a year, I was able to improve my heart's ejection fraction. And ejection fraction is the strength of your heart's pump. And I was able to improve it from a pumping power of 30% to 55% within a year. Now, with that being said, you are being advised by your cardiologist you're suffering from congestive heart failure. Okay, that's terrifying news. But what actually is congestive heart failure? I believe true focus and healing begins when a person understands their condition. Now, I'm going to keep this as simple as possible because I found from experience, what's more confusing was trying to understand congestive heart failure from a medical perspective, from words and terminology. That's why so many don't even attempt to understand their conditioning, making their situation even worse. So if you're a medical professional, you might find this information to be a bit novice. But in reality, I'm speaking to novice individuals with a desire to understand their condition and live a quality of life. Your heart is a muscular organ that is responsible for pumping blood containing oxygen and nutrients to your body. The pumping sections of your heart are the right atrium and the right ventricle. The atrium is the upper smaller chamber of your heart, and the ventricle is a larger chamber at the bottom of your heart. In your heart, oxygen-poor blood flows from your body through large veins into the right side of your heart's small chamber. Next, the blood moves into the right lower chamber, which contracts, sending blood out of your heart to pick up oxygen from your lungs. This blood, rich in oxygens, moves out of your lungs into the upper left chamber of your heart, then moves into the lower chamber of your heart. Finally, your left lower chamber contracts, sending oxygen-filled blood out of your heart to your body. Now, this is the proper operation of the heart. If you're suffering from heart failure, your heart has lost the ability to pump enough blood to meet your body's needs. You may have a weak or damaged chamber walls that are not able to push enough blood out of your heart. It's also possible that you have a stiff or thickened chamber walls that do not allow your heart to fill with enough blood. When your heart failure is due to the left side of your heart is not able to deliver enough oxygen-rich blood to your body, causing you to feel weak, fatigued, tired, and out of breath. A failing left heart chamber also increases blood pressure in the blood vessels between your lungs and your left heart chamber. This increased pressure forces fluid out of your blood into your lung tissues, making it difficult to breathe. If your heart failure is due to the right side of your right heart chamber is unable to contract with enough force to push blood to your lungs. This results in a buildup of blood in your vein, which causes a buildup of fluid called edema throughout the tissues of your body. Over time, heart failure on either side of your heart results in a weakening and damaged chambers that deliver less blood to your body. To make up for the decreased amount of blood, your nervous system releases a stress hormone to increase the speed and force of your heartbeat. I'm sure you felt this from time to time, maybe through irregular heartbeats, but unfortunately, the continued release of these stress hormones make your heart failure worse because they damage the muscle cells in your heart chamber. Now, what are some of the things that actually causes congestive heart failure or heart disease? Well, we know hypertension, diabetes, damaged heart valves, irregular heartbeat like arrhythmia, heart defects, poison or substance abuse, lung disease, and believe it or not, sleep apnea. Now, let me tell you something about sleep apnea that you might not have known. Now, every time you have in your sleep, you have moments where you stop breathing. What it does, it causes frequent drops in your oxygen level while you sleep. Now, these drops cause damage to the blood vessels that supply to your heart. Now, every time your level drops, your body tells your heart to beat faster, which causes your pressure to go up. It puts stress from sleep apnea places on the heart, causes the heart to get enlarged. Now, untreated sleep apnea causes stress on the heart. I remember I was urinating all night. I just kept getting up every night, just urinating. And I went to urologist, and he said, you might have sleep apnea that's causing your heart defect, or causing messing with your heart and pressure. But I had the test done, and I had, severe sleep apnea. And I realized that what it was putting extra stress on my heart. So when I wake up in the morning, my blood pressure waking up was skyrocket. But after I got the machine, the device, I started putting them on, I noticed that I started sleeping better, and I started feeling a lot better in the morning, and my blood pressure dropped. So sleep apnea is something that shouldn't go untreated. If you have any sign of heart failure, most likely you have sleep apnea, and you want to take care of that because it's very, very important. You do not want to die in your sleep. There are 4 key things I want to leave you with. 1, I want you to know your heart's ejection fraction. The ejection fraction, like I said earlier, is your heart's pumping strength, how strong your heart is actually working. Not knowing your heart's ejection fraction is like being an Olympic sprinter who's a sprinter, he's competing, but he never, ever time himself in training. If he doesn't time himself in training, how do we know if he's improving or not? When you don't know your heart's ejection fraction over a period of years, you're not sure if you're improving or not. By having an echocardiogram done maybe every 6 months or so, it will let you know if you're improving or where you need to make adjustments. The second thing I want to leave you with is monitor your sodium at all costs. Sodium is like a magnet to fluid. I mean, you already have a weak heart. Your heart is already weak, it's working hard, and when you eat a lot of sodium products, you're making your weak, already heart work harder to get rid of the excess fluid that you allow to get inside of his body. And you notice your blood pressure will go skyrocket in this process. So you want to get rid of the sodium, you want to do your part. I remember my first month out of the hospital from congestive heart failure, I found myself at In-N-Out Hamburgers, and 2 days later, I was in the ER. A week later, I went to Popeye's Chicken. Next thing you know, I was in ER. I found myself going to El Poloco, got the little chicken dinner, and I found myself in the ER from fluid overload. My heart was trying to improve, but I was putting more pressure on it by not counting my sodium. If you don't count the sodium now, you're going to count it later. And you didn't know what I mean by that. And so the third thing I want you to do, I think is very, very important, is that every morning you need to get up and monitor your vitals. Very, very important. That was a key part of my healing and me going in the direction of feeling better and improving my health by monitoring my vitals. What I mean by that, when you get up every morning, check your blood pressure, see where your blood pressure is, check your weight. Think about it. If you weigh 175 today, and tomorrow you weigh 176, and 2 days later you weigh 179, most likely your body is retaining fluid. And one thing I realized through my process is that when my body was retaining fluid, I was feeling pretty good till we got to a worse point. But if you can catch it early and say, wait a minute, I need to adjust my meals because I'm realizing that I'm holding fluid. And so you want to monitor your vitals every morning. You want to monitor your blood pressure, your weight, and see where you're at. And that way you can determine if your body is starting to actually hold fluid. The fourth thing I want to leave you with is exercise. Now, I know with congestive heart failure patients, it's hard because everybody's at a different level and everybody's affected differently. Now, I was an active person, but after my heart failure, I realized when I went to the gym, I was struggling to lift 10 pounds. And I get on a treadmill, and besides doing an hour, within 15 minutes, I found myself having to jump off. But what I did was I monitored it, I kept a calendar, a date book, I kept a log, and also what I did on this day, how much I did, and if I'm actually improving. Now, your heart is a muscle, and exercise helps strengthen the heart. That's what it does. So you want to do a walking, doing something, some type of walking, some type of leg exercise, some type of moving. You want to move to keep your heart strong, to keep it pumping, because it's actually a muscle. And so we want to do our part, and exercise is very, very important. Not only does it improve the heart, but it actually puts more oxygen into your blood system, and you're getting more nutrients to your body, and your body's working together. Believe me, your body wants to heal. It works together, but it needs you to play your part in helping it get healed. And so with that being said, I just want to tell you that heart failure is a serious illness. It's affecting more and more people every year. It's affecting younger and younger people every year. And one of the reasons because of our lifestyle and our diet is causing stress on our body. So our responsibility is to take as much stress off our body and off our heart. And if you have congestive heart failure, I know it's depressing, it's frustrating, and it's scary, because I'm telling you, I've been told that I have a short lifespan by all the illness I have with my heart failure. But one thing I'm determined to do is not allow statistics or faith to determine if I go. God created me a living being, and I believe there's an herb in creation that God created. There's an herb for every illness, and I believe that when God created the Garden of Eden, that food is medicine for our soul. And so a healthy diet plays a strong part in healing when you have congestive heart failure. Now, I'm gonna have more videos out there on how to control your sodium, how to cook with sodium, how to find ingredients, how to diet, how to prepare meals that's sodium based that you low sodium based that you love. I really believe my asset and why God has allowed me to live was to be your best friend, to be your coach, your cheerleader, and your motivation as we get healthier and better together. I love you, and may God continue to bless you.